Greetings and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how and why you can use tarot cards to improve your personal and your spiritual growth. In this video, I will be sharing 3 reasons why using tarot cards can benefit you personally, and I will be sharing 3 reasons why using tarot cards can benefit you spiritually. So let's get into this video. Tarot. It is something that I have really been connecting with for many years. I have been a tarot reader for many years, and I am really excited to talk about this topic because I love tarot, clearly. So, what are the first 3 reasons? I want to run through those reasons for you right away. For the first 3 reasons for spiritual growth, how using tarot cards can benefit you there, and then I'll kind of break it down, and then I'll do the same thing for spiritual. So, what are the 3 things for personal growth? How can you use tarot cards for that? Tarot cards can help you when it comes to self-awareness. The second one is using tarot cards can help you when it comes to healing emotionally. And using tarot cards can also help you when it comes to establishing a routine. It can help you even build self-confidence. So that's kind of a fourth one, right? So the 3 things for personal growth that you can use tarot cards for, it can help you with self-awareness, emotional healing, and with connecting and having a regular routine and building confidence is the fourth kind of bonus one when it comes to using tarot cards for personal growth. What are the reasons why you can use tarot for spiritual growth? And these are things that I have used tarot for, so I know for a fact that it can work, and that is what this video is about, is really telling you what the benefits are and what some of the disadvantages can be. But if you are at a point where you are wanting to connect with tarot, maybe you're a tarot beginner, maybe you've been using tarot for a while, but you want to connect with it in a different way, then that is what this video is about. So what are the 3 reasons that you can use tarot for spiritual growth? Is you can use tarot to help develop your intuition. And I've done a video about that before last year, and I'll probably do an updated version of that. The second reason for spiritual growth is you can use tarot cards to connect with your spirit guides, to connect with your ancestors. You can use this as a form of communication when it comes to really understanding and getting clarity of messages from your guides and your ancestors, or whatever you're into, right? And the third reason why you can use tarot cards for spiritual growth, the benefit is shadow work, which is one of my favorite things. And I will be talking about that more in a future video if you're interested in shadow work, because I do facilitate shadow work. So let me know if you have any questions. Post your questions in the comments. Let me know if you are a tarot beginner. Do you have a deck? Do you have tons of decks like I do? Where are you at on your tarot journey? Are you interested in tarot? You're curious about it, and you're not sure if it's right for you? Let me know. I have a whole playlist on tarot, and that's just going to I'll continue to add videos to that playlist. So just let me know in the comments kind of where you're at with that. Now, I have my deck here. I have one of my decks. And, I want to break these things down. So I gave you the run through of how you can use tarot for personal growth and for spiritual growth. I gave you 4 reasons for personal and 3 reasons for spiritual. So let's just kind of break this down a bit more. Now, when it comes to using tarot for personal growth, how does this apply to self-awareness? One of the things that using tarot can allow you to do I use this. It's a tool. It is a tool that can unlock these aspects of yourself. That's something that I always refer to when it comes to tarot. You can use it as a tool to connect with these aspects of yourself that have been hidden, that have been closed off, that maybe aspects of yourself that you have been avoiding. And if that is the case, tarot as well as oracle cards can be a great way for you to start connecting, to start learning about yourself. Because sometimes if you're in your mind all the time, you're constantly in your head and you're overwhelmed with all the stuff, overthinking everything. Tarot has a really great way, from my experience at least, and from clients that I've worked with, as well as my mentees, those that I have helped develop their tarot skills and connecting with tarot. It's a great way for you to get out of your head and to really connect to the message. Now, you don't have to be a tarot expert to do this. Even if you're just pulling a card and you are connecting with, and you're just reading what the book says and what that message says in the book. Like, what comes up for you when you see this card? What comes up? Think about that. Even just looking at the imagery can be very useful. So it allows you to get out of your head and develop your self-awareness in a way where you don't have to always overthink everything, where you can really just embrace the message, embrace what's showing up. And this is something that I have personally taught in my mentorship program. Now let's go into the second reason why using tarot cards can help benefit you personally. So the second one is emotional healing. If you are at a point, so you can either be overthinking, which we talked about for self-awareness. When it comes to emotional healing, sometimes you get overwhelmed with the feeling of pain, of sadness, with despair, with loneliness, and you need something to pull you out of that. Or you need a different perspective, one that does not come from other people saying whatever. Sometimes you need to just close everybody else out and really connect in a different way, in a way that allows you to work through your emotions, to not be and not be so like just overbearing and just that's not the word. Overbearing, that's not the word. Overrun with emotions, that's the word. To not be so overrun with emotions. Using tarot can help you. And it's so interesting as I'm pulling these cards. Think about what this card can mean. Even if you've never used a tarot card before, when you see this card, and I'm talking about using tarot cards for emotional healing, what shows up for you when you see this card? And you think of emotions. Even if you don't have to know anything about tarot right now, just look at the picture and let me know in the comments what comes up for you. What comes up for you when you see this? There's so much that can be unpacked here. And using tarot for emotional healing can help you work through your emotions versus being bogged down by them. So I've already talked about how you can use tarot for self-awareness, and that's about getting out of the mind. You can use it for emotional healing. That's about working through the emotions and not being overrun by them. Tarot is a great tool for that. Same thing for oracle cards. If you're into oracle cards, which I love oracle cards, you can use it for that too. Doesn't matter, right? I'm just focusing on tarot. Now, self-confidence is the third one that I shared. The third reason for personal growth. If you're just tuning in, I am sharing 3 reasons why you can use tarot for personal growth and 3 reasons why you can and should use tarot for spiritual growth. We're on the third one for personal growth. And self-confidence and having, I shared 4. I shared a bonus one. So I talked about just having this level of consistency and committing to yourself. And then the bonus one I shared is about just having this aspect of self-confidence. How do these 2 things work together? When you start to use tarot for personal growth, it allows you, now it becomes a part of your routine. This routine can be something that you do daily, weekly, monthly. You can use it based off of the moon phase. You can use it quarterly. The frequency doesn't matter. The consistency behind it and the intention behind it. So if you saw my last video I did a video talking about like using a full-on walkthrough of how to do an annual tarot reading for yourself. So be sure to check that video if you're interested in that. Don't check it now though, right? But I talked about how like you can use tarot for the seasons to do a seasonal reading and how you want to keep going back to it. You can use this as a log, as a journal even, to really log your experiences and to get feedback and to get an understanding of kind of where you are right now and the process to get to where you want to be. And so when it comes to having some type of consistent habit, you're using tarot as a tool to get you there. You're using tarot to take you to this point of taking action. And how relevant is this with the King of Wands? If you're familiar with the King of Wands, how would this show up when it comes to using tarot to build your confidence? Because when you start to have confidence in yourself, when you start to become consistent with something, you build more confidence in yourself. Because what is the underlying factor of confidence? It's trust. It's an inner knowing that I believe in myself enough to do the work. I believe in myself enough to get to this point. This is about reaching this aspect, actually, with the King of Wands. So taking consistent action, having a regular practice, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, annually, you might just want to do this once a year, whether you're doing it for yourself, it really can help you get clarity on how you want to move forward. How often are you procrastinating on making a decision? How often are you procrastinating on just starting a new venture? Come on now. Y'all are thinking right now, you're thinking like, how often? Like, man, because some of this stuff shows up in your unconscious mind, in the subconscious mind. And that is what the Moon card is about. So why is this showing up as I am talking about this? Is because this helps pull all of those things out. And this actually takes me to the reasons why you should use tarot for spiritual growth. I did the full run through. We're going to break it down. So, using tarot for spiritual growth. I talked about you can use tarot to develop your intuition. to develop your spiritual abilities. I have personally done this, and I teach this as well in my mentorship program. Now, and I have a video as well. It's in the playlist, and I'll be doing an updated video on how you can use tarot to develop the different aspects of your intuition and your spiritual abilities, whether you are clairvoyant, whether you are, and how interesting this is coming up with the King of Cups, whether you are clairvoyant, whether you are claircognizant, clairaudient, no matter what your aspect of, and if you have no idea what any of these clair things that I'm talking about, let me know in the comments. But whatever aspect of yourself that you're wanting to develop intuitively, using tarot cards can help you do that. And why is the King of Cups showing up as I talk about this? The King of Cups is showing up. What I'm getting from this, right, is using tarot allows you to, this is about this connecting and almost like mastering emotions in this intuitive way. Tarot can reflect the emotions, the feelings that show up in your unconsciousness that might be blocking you from having a deeper connection with your intuitive abilities. It can help bring these things out. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do that, no matter what it is you're trying to develop. So, well, we got a jumper here. I also mentioned for the second reason you can use tarot to develop, if you hear a sound, that's my necklace here. Another reason you can use, the second reason you can use tarot to develop your for spiritual growth is shadow work. So I mentioned I'm big on shadow work. I've done videos on shadow work, and how relevant is the Four of Cups when it comes to shadow work and not being satisfied with where you're at. And really, sometimes you're so caught up in what's right in front of you that you're not seeing the opportunity that shadow work can bring to you. A lot of people are afraid of shadow work. What does that even mean for you? Do you know what shadow work is? Do you know, have you used tarot for shadow work before? This can really allow you to connect and to unveil those hidden aspects of yourself, the things about yourself that you don't like, the things about yourself that you've been avoiding. Tarot can help you navigate your shadow self. I want you to think about that. Let me know if you have used tarot to navigate your shadow self, or if you're interested in learning more about that, because I will be talking more about that in future videos. Let's go into the third reason to use tarot for spiritual growth, and that is connecting with your guides, connecting with your spirit guides, your spirit team, your ancestors, your angels, your animal totems, whatever you're into. You can use tarot to connect with your guides. And look at this. And you know why I feel this is coming up? We have the Ten of Swords and the Ace of Cups. I feel there is a lot of fear with tarot, and as a tool that, it's like, oh, well, I don't want, the boogeyman to jump out, and, I don't want to be connecting, talking to spirits and stuff like that. Well, first of all, you are a spirit. You are a spirit in a physical experience right now, number one. I'm just saying. Number two, you can use this as a way to communicate. That doesn't mean that you have to if you're not comfortable with it. So that's just something to keep in mind. Tarot is a tool. It's a tool that you can use in a way that most suits you. Sometimes we're hard-headed. We ain't trying to listen to what whoever got to say what. We're not trying to hear it. Okay? And sometimes messages will show up that you're not trying to, it's just like you're not trying to hear it, but you need to hear it. And that is what this is, what's showing up here. The Ten of Swords, people get freaked out by the Ten of Swords. It can feel pretty gruesome, but the swords is about the mind. And then we have the Ace of Cups here. It's about the emotion. So this is moving beyond what you think, what's going on in the mind, which I talked about earlier with personal growth. And the Ace of Cups is about opening yourself up emotionally, opening yourself up to the possibility, to the potential of what could be, of how you can use tarot spiritually to communicate, to be in tune with, to learn from, to get guidance from that which is greater than you. And by greater, I don't mean better than. That which is greater than you, I'm referring to that which is beyond this realm. I have used tarot. I have received messages from my grandmothers, from there she go right there. Listen. This is my grandma energy right here. Just jumped out the deck. That's just confirmation. It's all about, like, start where you are. Start where you are. And don't feel like you have to do all of these things. All of these things that I'm suggesting, all of these things that I am sharing with you, even about my experiences, that doesn't mean they're going to be your experiences. But I am telling you what I know for sure. I know that these things that I've shared with you, the 4 reasons to use tarot for personal growth and the 3 reasons to use tarot for spiritual growth, I know that they can benefit you. I know that that using tarot can transform your life. If you are at a point where you feel like you can't do the thing, you feel stuck all the time, you're consumed with emotions, or maybe you're caring too much about everybody else except for yourself, tarot is a self-care tool. It's a great form of self-care. If you are doing too much and doing everything for everybody else and nothing for yourself, it is a great tool for you to return to yourself and to do something for yourself. I'm going to pull a couple cards here as the Ten of Swords is coming up again. So I feel like there is some barriers or some hesitation, or even an aspect of maybe it's time for me to end this cycle of fearing or being afraid of, or like being afraid of what's coming up is judgment. And that's something where if you are at a point where you're new to tarot, if you've been interested in tarot, but you're afraid of what other people are going to think of you, you're afraid of how people are going to think that you're a devil worshiper. People used to think that about me. They probably still do, but I don't care. They can think what they want. At the end of the day, what do you think about you? What do you want to feel? Do you want to be at a point where you are allowing your mind and your fears and everything that other people say to you to hold you back from stepping into that version of yourself that just wants to expand, that wants to go deeper, that wants to connect in a different way, that wants to learn something new, that wants to feel different, that wants to live life in a different way? You want to unpack all of the emotions, all of the thoughts. You want to unpack that in a way that will allow you to feel productive, to feel spiritually grounded. You can use tarot for that. You can. And if you know somebody that you think would benefit from what I'm talking about, be sure to share this video and like this video if you liked it. So I'm going to pull a couple more cards here because, you know, when it comes to developing your intuition, I'll share a little bit of my experience. Tarot has not only allowed me to develop my intuition, right? It has allowed me to refine my abilities. I am really just fine-tuning what's already there. That's what tarot has done, and that's what it can do. So I'm sharing with you the benefits and the possibilities. I'm sharing with you what is possible with tarot. But like I said before, you can use tarot for whatever you want to use it for. But I am sharing with you what's possible. I am sharing with you, and this is coming up again. So some of y'all, listen, some of y'all are out here just procrastinating. Y'all are holding back. Y'all are stopping yourselves. What are you afraid of? What is holding you back? If you have been wanting to use tarot, if you have been wanting to use oracle cards, if you already have cards, you already have some decks and you haven't really been practicing using or practicing regularly or really connecting and you've been bullshitting, why is that? What is holding you back? What is preventing you from moving forward? What are your fears? What are your apprehensions? Let me know in the comments. I will respond. Because I've been there before. Tarot also allows you an opportunity to reflect, to take a moment and listen to that inner voice. So I feel like that's another reason why the Four of Swords is coming up as well. Tarot can allow you to listen to that inner voice. So what is your inner voice telling you about life, about just getting a clear direction for what you want for yourself? Think about that. Let me pull a couple other cards here, and then I will go into the comments and see if there are any questions or comments. I see some comments, and I'll get to those. But it's really important for me to get in the message of how you can use tarot. And sharing messages with you as I do this, right? I'm doing the work with you. And I'm sharing with you because I do it and I've done it. And I've guided people to do it. And if it's something that you're interested in, be sure to stay tuned because I'm going to be doing, listen, again with this. So whoever's watching this, Somebody is watching this is right here, is stuck right here. Whether you're watching live or watching the replay, it keeps coming up, and you need to let me know what is holding you back. What have been your apprehensions? Have you had a negative experience? Let me know. Because we've been getting repeats. Here we go. The cards are popping today. We get the Star card. Move beyond your fears. Really, the word that's coming up is being optimistic. But also, if you are on the fence about being in a part of your journey where you want to commit more to your personal growth and to your spiritual growth, if you're on the fence about that, then you really need to look at what is it that you are hopeful about, that what is it that you are optimistic about, what is it that you are wanting to experience? Because I'm pretty sure that if you are here in the Ten of Swords right now, and you keep allowing your mindset and your fears or other people saying the thing, or what you think other people are going to think about you, or what you're going to do, or maybe you're just running away from yourself and you don't want to deal with your own shit. Maybe that's it. Well, I'm here to tell you that the Star card is coming up because it's time for you to start dealing with your shit. It's time for you to start unpacking that. It's time for you to stop half-assing being the best version of yourself. So if you have been feeling drawn to tarot and to oracle cards, you can use these tools simultaneously for personal growth and for spiritual growth. We've already gone through the reasons. But I'm feeling really, listen, Spirit's working through me right now because this card keeps coming. This card then came up about three or four times. So if that is you, this message is for you. Stop running away from yourself. It is like, if you really want to transform your life, if you want to do that and you are interested in using tarot, then you can use tarot as a tool to get there, to transform your life. And be sure to stay tuned, because tomorrow I will be sharing some details. I'll be doing a free challenge that I'll be hosting here on the YouTube channel. And hopefully you'll take that journey with me. So if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe so you can get the notifications. And yeah, I'll be announcing that very soon. Why am I doing this? Why do I want to do this challenge? Because some of y'all are bullshitting. Okay, let me get to these comments. Hey, MC, what is up? Greetings, she bowed it. Feeling like I don't know what I'm doing, or it's knowing all the meanings of the cards. Or not knowing all the meanings of the cards. So yeah, if you're at a point where you feel like you don't know what you're doing, this is a common experience and a common feeling. And my approach with tarot is really it's a holistic approach, and there is a way that you can learn and you can start learning without feeling like you're studying for the SATs or something. And if you are interested in learning more about like how to connect in an authentic way, how can you connect with tarot in a way that really resonates with you, that doesn't feel like, oh, this huge hurdle of having to learn all the things, then I would recommend, I have a playlist on Tarot for Beginners, and this video will be added to that playlist. So you can, and those were live streams as well, and you can listen to those, but also stay tuned for upcoming videos that I'll be doing. And I would highly encourage you to tune in when I announce the challenge that I'll be doing. And it is a tarot related challenge that I will be hosting for free on YouTube. And I'll be adding in some additional resources there for that. But you don't have to know all the meanings all at once. And you don't have to know all the meanings to start using the cards. You can start using, like, as you use the cards, you can start to learn the meanings. And that's something that I show that process. I walk people through that process in my tarot mentorship program. And I will be announcing next month some workshops and courses in relation to that. But first, start with the playlist that I have here, and that will be very beneficial. And then, so this was like last year when I was doing the promotion for the mentorship program, but I talk a lot more in depth about some of the common things, tarot versus oracle cards, or using tarot for intuitive development. But I will be talking more about that over the next month or so. I feel like I'm being called out. Yep. Is that you? Is this why I've been getting the Ten of Swords over and over again? Yes, if you feel like you're being called out, then you are, and you're being called out with love. You're being called out with the hope to take action. Because the question is, what's holding you back? What is holding you back? Tarot is not something that you have to fear, you know. And even if you're not interested in learning tarot for yourself, maybe you've just been curious about getting a reading and you want to just kind of learn like what it's like or whatever. And you've been on the fence about that. Like, then that goes into really just connecting and finding a person that is a tarot reader that you connect with. And I did a live reading. I did live readings a couple months ago. I'll be doing another one again at some point. I don't know when, but I'm really at a point now where you don't have to always get a reading from somebody. You can use tarot for yourself. You don't have to depend on somebody to always give you the answers or things like that. I still get tarot readings from other people. I think it's a great resource. It's a great way to get perspective. But I want to empower you to really take control of connecting and using this as a tool for personal and spiritual growth. But this doesn't mean that you shouldn't get readings. If that's something you're interested in, go for it. But this is about self-empowerment. Because too many times I've seen people feel like they can't do it. Like, yes, I am an intuitive wellness coach. I'm a spiritual mentor, cosmic energy healer, right? Professional tarot reader. I do these things. But I want to empower you to start doing your work. I help people do their work. I guide you to it and I walk you through it. Because it's just as important. You can't just always depend on spiritual healers or readers to do the work for you. They can take you there. They can reveal things for you and help you get clarity and understanding. But then there's a next step to that. And that step is you taking action, you doing something about it, you changing the thing. And that is what this video is all about, of how you can use tarot to do those things for yourself. And yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know. Hey, Tamara. Thank you for all that you do and your encouragement. Thank you for tuning in. And, you know, this is, I'm telling you, tarot and the messages for today have really been, it's part of my life mission, really. If I wasn't at a point, I was at a point where, you know, I was afraid of tarot at one point. I thought, you know, because of how I was raised, and I thought it was like, you know, I was going to go to hell and all this other stuff. But at some point, I had to move beyond the fear, and I had to tap into my calling. And I always say, I did not find tarot. Tarot found me. It's a whole thing. I think I did a video about it. I'll do an updated version at some point, but I won't bore you with the details in this video. So I think I'm obsessed. I'm always listening to readers on YouTube. I enjoy hearing general readings from my signs and other signs too. I am beginning to do it more for myself. Yeah, and you know, and there's nothing wrong with watching readers on YouTube. It's a great way to just get, because sometimes, and I say this all the time when I do live readings, like just because like you can hear a general reading and you can receive a lot of benefit from that. You can get a message that you really need to hear through those general readings. Like there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I'm speaking to those that are at a point where if you're only depending on that and but you're not changing, say it's different if you're listening to these different readings and then you take that nugget of wisdom, you take that synchronicity, that confirmation, and then you take action. If you're doing that, great. If you're just listening to the readings and you're just listening and you're not actually doing anything, your life is still the same. You're just like, oh man, that was so inspirational, but you haven't taken that inspiration and transmuted it into action, then that's where I'm coming in at. And what are the odds? We have the Empress, which is all about bringing forth, birthing, creativity. Listen. But yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually, it's continue to do that if that's what you're interested in, right? But when are you going to take the accountability to do the work for yourself? Or to take that information and to transmute it into something, into action? I'm glad that you are beginning to do it more for yourself. And I'm curious, let me know, since doing it more for yourself, what have you started to learn about that? What have you started, what has come up for you when it comes to doing, using cards and reading cards for yourself? Whether you're using tarot or oracle. So for those of you, if you are really kind of intimidated by tarot, you can always start with oracle cards. I have, I think I use this deck. Here's a deck. Here's oracle cards right here. You can use oracle cards. You can still get messages from oracle cards. Where do you buy your decks? So I buy my, okay, video's blurry. There we go. I buy my decks from various places. I buy them off of Amazon. I buy them in local metaphysical shops. I buy them from independent artists. So, and I do like to support when I can, those that are, you know, self-published. I like to support those that are self-publishing, so I try to buy direct from them. Another option is Hay House. So you can go directly to the publisher in their website. So for example, this deck right here is a Hay House deck. So the deck was published through Hay House. So you can go to, a lot of times publishers will have their own website where they house all the things that they publish, books, decks, and things like that. So you can also go directly to a publisher's website, and all you have to do is just look on the deck. Like, so here's the logo for the Hay House, but you can also look inside the book, And it will typically tell you who the publisher is. So here, Hay House. And you can just Google Hay House official website. But I always encourage you, if you are buying decks from an independent artist, I always encourage to try to buy directly from their site when you can. But sometimes I'm impatient and I be needing my deck immediately. So I'll be on Amazon Prime, like, hook it up. I know I'm a mess. I'm a mess. So I hope that was helpful. I think it helps listening to other readers. I learn from them. When I do the readings for myself, speak out what I intuitively think is saying, and sometimes I feel nudges from spirit. Okay, good. Yeah, I like what you mentioned about that you think that it helps when you listen to other readers. And I agree. I think it's great for, to listen to other readers because you start to kind of learn from their perspective, which is something, why I enjoy doing live readings. Even though the live reading that I did in December, that was my first time doing live readings here on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to be more consistent with YouTube, but that's what I enjoy about doing live readings, because now, even if you're a tarot enthusiast or you're a new reader, this can just inspire you to kind of see how another person sees the card. And it just gives you another perspective, and not necessarily like trying to copy what they're doing, but you're like, oh, I never saw it in that way, or oh, I never thought of, to see it from this point of view. And it can be very helpful in that way. So I do agree with that. And I do like that you are experiencing nudges from spirit. So yes, continue to get the nudges, and don't be ignoring them nudges though. See, that's the thing. You can get the nudges, but are you just like ignoring them? Are you not listening to them? You're like, yeah, I hear you, but I hear you though. I hear you, but I ain't really trying to listen to what you say. That has been me many times, and still now. I've been doing this shit for years, okay? And sometimes I don't be wanting to hear what they got to say. It's like when I'm ready, like I hear you, I receive the message. I'm just not ready to do it yet, and I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay in my stubbornness right now, but I'm here for it. So sometimes it be like that, okay? I'm not saying, it'd be like that sometimes. Greetings. Thank you for tuning in, Sky Fearless. So we have been talking about using tarot cards for personal growth and spiritual growth. And I shared with you 4 ways that you can use tarot for personal growth. And I share with you 3 ways that you can use tarot for spiritual growth. And if you haven't done so already, like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't done so as well, because this week I will be announcing a challenge, a free challenge that I will be doing here on YouTube, and it's related to tarot, and I'm really excited about it. So stay tuned for that. And if you know somebody that would get value from this video, be sure to share this video. For anybody that's been feeling stuck with tarot, or not sure of how to even use tarot, or even if you've been using it and you want to take a different approach, then this video is a great starting point. I feel them, but I do procrastinate on the nudges. I'm telling you, me too. Listen, I only know it because I do it. Still, it's so. Listen, they know me. They know. I'll get to it when I get to it. Sometimes it be like that. When you say hear them, is it in your voice? But you intuitively know it's coming from spirit. So when I hear them, it's interesting. I was doing another live stream earlier today, and I was talking about this difference of tuning in. So when it comes to hearing them, this will vary from person to person. So I mentioned you can use tarot for spiritual growth. You can use it to develop your intuitive abilities, right? So depending on what your natural abilities are, it might come through different. For me, when I hear, sometimes I hear a voice, I will hear a certain tonality, right? I hear another person's voice. It doesn't sound like my voice. And oftentimes for me, it is when, that's how I know it is an ancestor. Usually it's an ancestor that comes through and I am hearing their voice. Other ways that it comes through is I start to feel, I pick up on the personality traits. I can feel like the essence of their personality, if through the messages that are coming through. This is if it's an ancestor, or if it's an ancestor, right? So one of my ancestors, they'll come through. They have a certain energy about them, and I'm feeling the personality. Sometimes the voice is in my voice, but the mannerisms and the feeling of their personality is coming through. So I hear it in that way. So sometimes I do hear it in my voice, but I'm feeling the essence of their personality. So another way that I hear the voice or hear the messages from guides or from my own intuition, if it's my own intuition, which is usually most of the time, right? Because when I'm using tarot for myself, it is in my voice. It is in my voice, but I know when it is the inner aspect, or some of you might use the term or might resonate with the term higher self. So your inner self, I use inner self, but your inner self, your higher self, that intuitive, non-physical, infinite aspect of yourself, right? Because that's what we're talking about here. I hear my voice, but I feel expansive. I feel different, right? So, because I'm tuning into that non-physical part of myself, and that feeling is different, but it shows up in my voice, but I hear it in my voice. And then with spirit guides, if I'm hearing a spirit guide, I hear it in a very monotone voice. It's often monotone. Sometimes it can sound like a male monotone, or a female monotone, or feminine monotone, or something very kind of just very monotone and just very plain. And that's how I know it's a spirit guide. So that's how it showed up for me. And over the years, so I mentioned earlier, I have refined this over. And how have I done that? I've done that a lot with tarot, because I've been consistent with it. I've been using that as a form in all the ways that I share with you in this video today. So I hope that was helpful. And hold on, somebody's calling me. Greetings, Amanda. How are you? I hope you're well. So I hope that was helpful for you in kind of how I hear. Now, that's how I hear, right? And it has been refined over the years to where I can break these things down. It might not show up that way for you at all. My advice for you, and for anyone that's watching live or watching the replay, is pay attention to what you hear and what you feel. Because oftentimes those two go hand in hand. And if you hear something, then if you hear something first, then connect with the feeling of it. What is the energy? Do you feel like, do you feel like you're tingling? Do you feel warm? Do you feel like this loving energy? Do you feel kind of this cold energy? Like, what are you actually feeling? And that could be a feeling of your actual physical body changing. And by changing, I mean like the temperature. Sometimes, when I'm really connecting, sometimes I get really hot. and this is a whole nother thing. When it comes to your divine element, that's a whole nother conversation of what your primary element is, what element you tend to operate in the spiritual realm, and then also in relation to your zodiac sign, and that's a whole nother conversation. but if you operate a lot, so I operate a lot in fire, so I tend to get when I'm tuning into these things, I tend to get really hot. But for someone else, if you're very watery, then you might feel very flowy when you are hearing certain messages. Thank you. That does help. I haven't gotten to the point where I can hear a different voice or a spirit guide, and that's fine. Yeah, and that's usually how it starts. You might not hear anything yet. And again, this varies from person to person because we all have our different natural strengths, our natural intuitive abilities, the things that come natural to us. And then over time, other abilities start to develop, which is why I mentioned you can use tarot to develop your intuition, and you can use it to develop and refine your intuitive abilities, because I've done that, and I teach that on how you can start to do those things. Because here's the thing, when you start to develop your intuition, when you are, I'm a personal trainer too, right? So when you are exercising that intuitive muscle, it gets stronger and you are more capable. You can do more with it. The stronger you get, the more you're able to do. So I hope that makes sense, because that's how I've been able to get to this point where I can just break all this shit down like this. But you might be naturally clairsentient. You might feel things a lot more than hear things. So for you, you just might be feeling more, and just really focus on improving that clairsentience and improving connecting to that feeling. And then over time, other things will start to happen. So for me, I've always been a seer. I've always been just clairvoyant. It started for me with just always getting premonitions, and then it was getting like premonitions in my dreams, and then I was getting flashes of things happening like before they happened, or the day before, or deja vu. Then it developed more into, I can just tune into wherever and see things. So it's a process. Hey, Dream Sinker. My life path is 7. My life path is 7 too. Twinning. I felt like I should say that for some reason. I think it relates to intuition. Yeah, my life path is 7 as well. And it's definitely about 7 is the spiritual path. It absolutely is. And I would encourage you to read up more on the life path of 7 and how that shows up for you, which is probably the reason why if you are a life path 7, your spiritual journey is very important in this lifetime. And connecting to spirit, however that shows up for you, but that is a significant aspect of your life cycle if you are in life path 7. And see, your intuition is that you felt like you need to say that's your intuition right there. You felt like you need to say it, right? That's that feeling, and you just took action in the feeling. So congratulations on that. I'm a water sign, and I do feel flowy. I actually start to sway back and forth. Yeah, see? So sometimes, depending on your sign, your actual, your zodiac sign, and then how you operate in spiritual realms, which is, again, a whole nother conversation, then that can definitely help you determine how you kind of tune in and how you connect with your, just with your intuitive abilities, and also with tarot and oracle cards in general, like how you communicate and how it communicates with you. So even for you, Dream Sinker, connecting with decks that tend to be more watery might be very beneficial for you. So, yeah, you are welcome. Awesome. So it has really been a pleasure And thank you, though, for those of you that showed up live, and for those of you catching the replay, make sure you post hashtag replay and share your thoughts in the comments of this video. And let me know what your thoughts were. What did you learn from this video? What are some of your takeaways? What are some things that you're interested in trying when it comes to the three things, the things that I've shared? And I'll do a recap of what I've shared. The three things. Well, I did four ways that you can use tarot to for personal growth is through self-awareness, through emotional healing, through self-confidence, and through committing to a habit and having a consistent habit. That's how it can help improve you personally. For spiritually, tarot, you can use tarot for spiritual growth because it can help you develop your intuition. You can use tarot for shadow work, and you can use tarot to connect with your guides, your spirit guides, your ancestors. So that is a way that tarot can help you grow personally and spiritually. And if this is a topic that interests you, be sure to stay tuned to this channel, because I will be announcing a free challenge that I will be doing here on YouTube very soon. That challenge starts next week. I will be announcing the details this week on this channel. So if you are new to tarot, if you've been into tarot but you've been bullshitting, if you're curious about it, or you want to start using tarot in a unique way, then definitely subscribe to this channel, share this video for all of your tarot enthusiasts or tarot newbies, or if you've been in the game for a while like me and you just want to try something different, or just be a part of a challenge and something fun, then be sure to stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good night.